folks, welcome back to the ACC Kickoff here. We just got fed, and we have Michael Kelly here, Chief Operating Officer of the College Football Playoff, has stopped by. Michael, thanks for joining us. Sorry for you to wait around a little bit.
Oh, no problem.
Talk about the College Football Playoff. Bill Hancock is doing a fantastic job, and then you have Jeff Long, who was the chairman for a couple of years of the people who were picking who's going to be in the playoff. Now he has moved on, and they got somebody from, I think, Texas A&M.
Texas Tech. Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech coming in. So just talk about the first 3 years of this college football playoff. Is it something that you think is better than the BCS? You think it's got better over the years, the first 3 years, than everybody thinks it was going to be?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously with the BCS, it was an important era for both seasons of college football because it went through a stage where for the 56 years prior to the BCS, only 8 times the number one played number two. So BCS changed the mindset where at least there was a ranking of some sort that number one played number two. But as that went on, people got more and more discouraged about how the team was picked or had some more consternation about it. And so it ultimately led to the formation of the college football playoff, which allowed 4 teams to happen. And then the way to choose them was ultimately decided by our leadership to have a selection committee of ADs, former coaches, former players, academicians, all that sort of thing, to have journalists, so to have a good
and you have a Secretary of State, too.
Yes, Secretary of State, who kind of came in as a former provost of the university. So, so it's been really well received. We've gone through 2 full seasons, and the popularity of, I think, the regular season for college football has only been elevated that much more because of the interest in the playoff. The fact that 4 teams have been able to get out there and earn it and win it on the field has been great. And the championship weekend that's been created for the fans and for the experience for the players and coaches has been first rate. So we're excited about it and looking forward to the year ahead. And to your point, yes, Kirby Hocutt is now the chair of our selection committee this upcoming year. Jeff Long is still on the committee, but he won't have the task of speaking and explaining the committee's decisions every week.
Is that going to be like every year, every 2 years cycle for different people to take over the calls or all that stuff, or picking and explaining why they picked Notre Dame number 1 but Florida State number 4?
That's a great question. Each committee member going forward will be on the committee for usually a 3-year term. But in terms of how our management committee ultimately decides who the chairman is, and they will tend to have a 2-year term at that. It's a good opportunity for them to get 1 year under their belt and kind of keep that continuity. But certainly they could rotate in 1 year, but ideally it would be a 2-year term.
Michael, I gotta ask, because how do you gauge the success of a college football playoff?
Well, for us on these first couple of years, it's just been it's been really gratifying to go from an event that didn't exist and a mark and a brand and an experience that just didn't exist. And quite frankly, after 2 years, I think it's become quite iconic. It's as I said earlier, it has helped the regular season of college sports. It's elevated the interest in those semifinal games and ultimately leading to a national championship. So for us, we've sold out all of our venues. That's been strong. People have given us good feedback on the events themselves when they experience it and go to the activities, and the ratings have been very, very high. I think 5 of the top 10 sporting events of all time on cable have been related to the college football playoffs, so it's very, very strong.
It's something, I got to tell you, first of all, we're big fans of it, just the excitement around it. Is there ever a point in time where, and I know it's more of a college football thing and it is an individual thing, do you ever look back and say, maybe we could have started to do this a little sooner?
Well, I think everything happens for a reason and in time, and as I said before, the BCS served its purpose. It was a good transition from what it was and an improvement from what it was, and it too needed some improvements, and now I think we've got really a good sweet spot on to where we are. So sure, I think you look back now and say, man, that would have been great to do it, but we all learned things over the first 100 years of this sport, and it's kind of led to where we are today.
Herb FM Sports, continuing coverage of 2016 ACC Media Day. Michael, I just want to ask you, one of the things that really surprised me and was impressive was the diversity of the selection committee. Can you talk about what goes into ultimately bringing someone on board to that committee?
That's a really good question. Our selection committee is ultimately every member is determined and invited by our management committee, which in essence is the 10 commissioners of the FBS playing conferences, so including John Swafford here and Jim Delaney from the Big Ten and all of those. And so they really go through an evaluation process and think about who might fit from a geographic distribution standpoint and diversity standpoint. We have an AD from a number of different conferences, so their diversity of the pool really comes into how they evaluate football from their prism. So again, it's important to them to have some former coaches. We have former journalists. We have, again, as we talked about, Condoleezza Rice and others. So when you get that type of a mixture into a room, everyone's got a little different angle and a different expertise to hopefully have the best chance of coming up who genuinely is the top 4 teams to go into this playoff.
Well, I have to tell you, I think the last couple of years, you guys have definitely, got it right, so to speak, because, there's always going to be, second guessers, and, I think the one thing that I, like is that we're taking the kind of the computer element out of it. I know, obviously, we're in sports, so statistics and numbers do play a big part. But the human element, I think, in being able to sit down from people from all different walks and experiences, when we talked about the diversity, where do you see, there's been a little speculation about maybe going to, an 8-team format. Do you think we're pretty much set where we are now, or do you guys entertain the thought, because of the success that you've had of the new college football playoff, of maybe making some changes?
Well, I think that the 4-game playoff is where all the stakeholders could ultimately agree to be comfortable with for now. And by for now, I mean there was a 12-year contract. We've got 10 years remaining on it in terms of, in essence, committing to this format and to our television partner, ESPN, that we're involved with. So I just really can't foresee that will be changed in this contract. If, as time evolves and it's decided that we should expand, that's something I think that would be looked at for the future. But again, because of so much thought that went into preserving the regular season of college football, which we think is the best regular season in all of sports, having the academic calendar staying till one semester sport if we can is important, and then keeping the traditional bowl games involved with our postseason are all important criteria, and that's where 4 teams kind of measures out just perfect.
Well, Herb, do you have anything else for Michael Kelly?
The places where you guys picked for the national championship, I know it's going to be in Atlanta next year. This year's in Tampa. Is it ever going to be picked up north, for like maybe up in New York City one year? Because they have great venues like Yankee Stadium, they could play one there. Or is it always going to be in a warm weather climate, or are you going to see it maybe one day somewhere where people are going to be like in a dome? Because I know Minnesota's just built a brand new stadium. Do you see it moving around?
I think it's quite possible. I mean, in these first 6 years where we've determined sites, they're in 6 different states, and that's by design. We have every interest in moving this championship game around and getting it around the country. It only helps our brand, helps our event, helps the experience for players, coaches to kind of have different experiences. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if a northern city would ultimately win one in the future. We've had bids so far that have been received from Detroit, from Minneapolis. They did a really good job on it. It just didn't come out their way. But I think we've heard some initial interest also from Indianapolis. We have not yet heard from New York or Washington outside of just kind of checking in. But I think in time, as this continues to grow in terms of being, in essence, probably the second biggest annual event on American soil, cities are going to want that type of impact and have those people visit their city.
Or you could probably have 2 cities combined, because you could actually have Baltimore and Washington and say, hey, we'll have a final in Baltimore. We can have finals in National Park or FedEx Field or wherever the Redskins is going to be moving soon. We don't know where they're
right. From a national championship game standpoint, yes. I mean, our semifinals are definitely locked in with the 6 bowls that we work with, so we've got that locked in. But our championship event does require quite a commitment. We expect upwards of 60 to 70 to 100,000 fans from out of the market that come to the championship city. You've got big media center to deal with, all the events that we put on. So it takes a lot of commitment. So sometimes it is important that cities work together. Like, for instance, the South Florida bid last year that wasn't awarded, but was very, very competitive. It involves Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Tampa, we mostly use Tampa, but there's some elements of St. Pete and Clearwater. So your point of bringing a region together to host things is important.
Yeah. Well, the road to Tampa starts this week, so I guess everybody will be starting kicking off, and hopefully we'll make a trip to. Hopefully we can make a trip to Tampa for the New Year's Day, and so I can stay away from the cold weather in Baltimore. Yeah.
I hope you will. We'll have a nice radio row set up there. It's so many events that take place. Tampa's it'll be somewhat of a coming out party for the Riverwalk, and I've hosted a number of events in my career in Tampa, and it's always been great. But there's a new Riverwalk that takes all the people down by the Hillsborough River and Tampa Bay itself, and it'll create just a wonderful walking experience that I think people will really enjoy. And then Raymond James Stadium's undergone some renovations this summer. Brand new sound system, video boards in the four corners, and massive video boards, so it'll be a great experience in the stadium as well. So it's truly a whole weekend celebration of college football. Whether your team's in it or not, I really think people should descend upon it and just enjoy it. It's the weekend party to enjoy and celebrate college football.
Yeah, like my mother said, we'll save our coins. Let's just do that now. Well, Mike, I appreciate it.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch.
Appreciate the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So that's Michael Kelly, the Chief Operating Officer of the College Football Playoffs, and stopping by, and we'll hopefully we get some cool people stopping by, like him. He's such a cool guy, and hopefully we'll see you in Tampa.
You bet.
Hopefully.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, we have James Batts, who does the Fox Sports South. Fox Sports South is the home for the ACC football during the season. They have their first 3 games out on the docket. Week one, right here, Charlotte 49ers roll into Louisville to take on the Cardinals. And in week 2, Jimbo Fisher and the high-powered Seminoles take on a cupcake team, Charleston Southern. I'm sorry, that's a cupcake game. And then you got a doubleheader on week 3, and this is going to be a great doubleheader. Okay, Clemson taking on South Carolina State, a in-state rival, playing each other. And then, if you were a fan of the Colonial Athletic Conference, James Madison Dukes going to roll into Chapel Hill to take on Larry Fedora and his beard at 3:30. So hopefully, we'll see those 3 games coming up, and then Fox Sports South will televise 17 ACC football games during the regular season, and remaining on the schedule will be at least 12 days prior to each game. And Fox Sports is all over the country here. You can get it in the Carolinas, Florida, the Sun Network, where the Devil Rays play their games, MSG, the Yes Network, Roots in Pittsburgh, and where I live, Comcast Sportsnet Mid-Atlantic, and San Diego, Wisconsin, Prime Ticket in LA. Wherever you go on vacation, even if you go up to Boston, you can watch it on the New England Sports Network, where the home of the Red Sox, do their things. And also on Fox Sports South, a lady doing a ACC All Access, Oliver Harlan. Season premiere is September 8th at 5:30 on Fox Sports South. She will go access behind the scenes of real life experience with elite student athletes, coaches of the Atlantic Coast Conference. So hopefully, if you're in the area, you can watch that on Fox Sports South. Fox Sports South is the home of the Atlanta Braves, who are they're struggling. So they're struggling really bad. It's getting close to the trading deadline there, Yeah. So we'll talk baseball talk later. Oh, that's another subject we'll talk later, and trading deadline. So we're going to take a time out here. When we come back, we'll hopefully have Mr. James Batts on, who helps West Durham with the broadcast there on Fox Sports South, and we'll see whoever will stop by our little home away from home. So we'll be right back.